what is the core utility of it? What value does it serve? And so that's why I own more Ethereum than I do Bitcoin. Now, that said,
in this interview, Mark Cuban, the prolific billionaire investor, talked about his latest analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other altcoins. He said that he buys Bitcoin like other people buy gold, and why Bitcoin is just good a hedge against inflation as gold is. He said he owns more ETH than Bitcoin, and then he disclosed a key price point for Bitcoin, where he's planning to buy the dip. Also, I'd just like to remind you that we're giving away $100 to a random subscriber at the end of this month. To take part in it, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, turn on post notifications, like this video, and leave a comment in the comments section below. Good luck. Now, let's look at his interview.
So NFTs are just collectibles. They just happen to be digital. You know, if you go to the Louvre in Paris and look at the Mona Lisa, 99% of people are just going to say, that's just a picture of some old lady, right? You know, that's been around forever, and people have assigned value to it. You know, a lot, and the 1% are going to think it's the most beautiful piece of art that they've ever seen. NFTs are the exact same thing. It's just, you know, a collectible that happens to be digital. And the advantage of it being digital are severalfold. One, you can't mess it up, right? You know, if you have a baseball card, if you have a poster, if you have an Andy Warhol piece of art, you know, there's always that chance that something's going to get screwed up. There's a famous story about Steve Wynn from Wynn Hotels in Vegas, and he had a $130 million piece of artwork he was going to sell, and he tripped, or somebody tripped and poked a hole in it. You know, so there's always that risk. And, you know, with an NFT, it's digital. So there's no risk. There's no risk when you sell it. There's no risk when you transfer it. You can transfer it immediately. So if you create an NFT or I create one and you want to buy it, it takes about 2 seconds for the transaction to happen. So there's no transfer risk. You don't have to worry about the quality. There's, you know, we can go through a whole list of why an NFT has advantages as a collectible, but it always comes down to demand.
Yeah.
You know, art, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Value is in the eye of the beholder. Demand is in the eye of the buyer. And so if you can create an NFT that has demand, then it's going to be worth something. 99% of NFTs that are created, like 99% of art, like 99% of music, like 99% of the people who say, oh, I could teach that Peloton class and get everybody rolling, right? It's not real, right? But for the 1%, the people who can do something special, then there's a real market for it. And that's where the NFTs get their value. With crypto, there's a lot of similarities with the stock market. There's an old saying that I've always had in the stock market, that everybody's a genius in a bull market.
Yeah.
You know, where when stock prices are going up, everybody will tell you what stocks they're buying, right? When stock prices are going down, everybody gets really, really quiet. And it's the same with crypto. You know, when Ethereum and Bitcoin and some of the others are going up, everybody will tell you how smart they feel. But when they go down, you know, no one wants to say a word. And the reality is you have to look for the utility or the value of any investment that you make. You know, you have to say, why are people buying Bitcoin? In reality, Bitcoin, just like an NFT is a digital version of art, you know, we compared it to the Mona Lisa. Bitcoin is a digital version of gold.
Right.
Gold, you know, people say, well, gold has real value as jewelry. Nobody needs gold jewelry. People like gold jewelry because, you know, it keeps a shine, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of reasons to love gold as jewelry. But if gold jewelry went away, the world wouldn't change. Yeah. You know, and there's a few manufacturing applications, but gold has value because people assign it value. And those types of investments are called store of value. They're kind of like commodities, like you just said. Bitcoin's the same way. It just happens to be digital. It's limited by an algorithm and how many that's created. So there's a scarcity factor. You can't just create it forever. And because of that, and because it's easy to transfer, it's easy in some cases to use for cross-border payments between people in different countries. So there's some utility, but mostly people buy Bitcoin and own Bitcoin like I do because other people own Bitcoin, just like people buy gold. Now you hear a lot of stories. Bitcoin is a hedge to inflation. Gold is a hedge to inflation. It's not. It's not. You know, we're having a lot of inflation right now. Bitcoin ain't going up. We're having a lot of inflation right now. Gold ain't going up. You know, They bounced around pretty much where they are. And so you've got to understand, if you're buying Bitcoin, it's a store value. And like any store value, gold or otherwise, it's the price is based on supply and demand. When people are selling, more people are selling than buying, it goes down. When more people are buying than selling, it goes up. And again, that's not a whole lot different than the stock market either. You know, tech stocks have gotten crushed worse than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's a little bit different, right? Ethereum has some level of utility where you can use it for transactions. Most NFTs are bought and sold using Ethereum. So in order to buy a Bored Ape for 100 Ethereum, you have to go buy that Ethereum. And so the more demand there is for Bored Apes or the Ape coin or whatever that's based on Ethereum, the more value Ethereum, the token, is going to have. And so when I look at any of my crypto investments, that's the first question I have. What is the core utility of it? What value does it serve? And so that's why I own more Ethereum than I do Bitcoin. Now, that said, again, when all tokens, like stocks, have some level of speculators in it, right? People who aren't long-term investors, they just want to buy because they think it's going up. And so when a market loses those speculators, and we're losing a lot of them now because interest rates are going up. Because if when you had your choice of putting your hard-earned dollars in the bank and earning 0.1% interest, you're probably going to speculate more. But now that interest rates are going up, people are speculating less. And you can't borrow money to speculate as inexpensively, so they speculate even less. And as a result, stock prices are going down. You know, I own Amazon, I own Netflix. Those prices have gone down more than my Bitcoin and my Ethereum have gone down. But that's just the way it goes. And so, at this point in time, what I'm doing is looking to see, is there anything there that's gotten so cheap that it's time to really take a strong look at starting to buy some. And I've dabbled, when Ethereum gets down under let's say $1,800, I'll buy a little bit. When Bitcoin gets down under 28,000, I'll buy it just a little bit, because it's really hard to predict how low it's going to go. So I haven't gone all in yet. Don't do it. Number one, don't do it because someone told you it's hot, it's cool, it's the next big thing. That never works, right? Do it because you see a fundamental reason for it. Back in the day, people, when Starbucks was just getting started, people say, well, buy Starbucks. And I'm like, why? Like, because everybody I know is going to Starbucks for their coffee, right? That's a good reason to buy stock in a company. And it's the same thing with crypto. It's not because everybody's buying the crypto, it's because they're using it for something that creates value. Like I've invested in a crypto token called Klima, Klima. And it's a DAO that buys carbon credits that I can then use for my business to then burn them. Now, the good news is there's a utility there. So I can say I'm offsetting my carbon footprint by buying them and burning them. And that creates value. The bad news is it's down like 99% because a lot fewer people are doing it. So even though in this particular case, it served a real purpose by allowing me to, burn carbon credits and offset my carbon footprint, not enough people are doing it. So the value still can go down. But I haven't sold any of mine because I think if it does, and it's still a big if, I'd say the odds are against it. But if it does catch on and people start realizing that, hey, the environment's important to me, and I want to offset the 20 tons of carbon that I create a year. This is, I think, one of the easiest ways to do it. So anybody, as more people become more confident and comfortable with crypto, buying, Klima DAO token for $5, whatever, is a cheap way to do it. Or buying, some of the other tokens that are affiliated with carbon. It's a cheap way to do it and burn it, which I think, adds value to the token. So that's an example of utility.